Plan is a charitable nonprofit organization. We're here in Rhode Island, and for more than 75 years, we've worked with 50 different developing nations to break the cycle of child poverty. And as you would imagine, each community is vastly different. So the work that we do in each community is very different. It's community-led, it's child-centered, and it's had outstanding results over the past years. I think the biggest pain point we were experiencing is that we just didn't have the in-house expertise and knowledge to move effectively into the digital space, or to then analyze the data and the results to see if we were achieving what we hoped and were we spending the right amount or spending too much. And we just really didn't know how to go into those uncharted waters, and we needed a partner like you. When TribalVision came in and began to work with us, because you work with us as one plan as opposed to a marketing department and a communications department and a fundraising department, without ever saying the words, you actually reminded us how important it is to work together seamlessly. You've come on board almost as a member of the team rather than an advisor. So instead of sort of telling us what to do, you helped us do it and did it with us. So that was very helpful to us, because not only have we learned to do some of the right things in the right spaces, we've learned to do some of that on our own. TribalVision's model is a good fit for a nonprofit organization for a number of reasons. First off, your price point is something that a nonprofit can work with, because our first priority is always to the donor and the children or the people that we serve. And so, although we need to offer and invite people to join our movement, we have to always be doing so at the lowest price possible for the best result. And that's what you deliver. So for a nonprofit, it's very economical, it's very results-oriented, and that's what we're looking for. Also, with a nonprofit, we tend to have a smaller staff that doesn't have each of the expertise areas and niche areas. And TribalVision was very good at hiring your own staff to fill voids that we had. I think a lot of the data analysis to help us choose the appropriate channel mix, as well as choosing which creative to use, your research into best practices and then testing those practices to see what made sense. So rather than looking at a gut reaction, something as small as the color of the button on a to give page where we were using green because that seemed intuitive, and you said, no, let's try red. So Plan USA followed TribalVision's recommendation and gifts went up. So that was critical for us, the making data-driven decisions as opposed to what seemed anecdotally to work. So you dive very deeply into the data, and then you also help us understand what exactly it is that we're looking at in that data. Year over year, right now, we're up 247% in visits to the website, and year over year in the campaigns that we've worked on together, we're up 66% in revenue. The key advantages to TribalVision are all very personal. You come in seamlessly, you offer advice and guidance, you listen to where we're headed and what we're hoping to achieve. You're part of our aspirations and goals, so you don't come in and just advise on, well, this is what the best practices are, but rather you listen to what are we trying to achieve and how can you help us get there. When we asked for help, you never said no. You always said yes, and then you figured out, well, what is it exactly that you need and what really would be TribalVision's best role? And you never sold us something we didn't need. You would ask, what is it you need? How are you trying to get there? And then you would provide examples of, well, if you hired TribalVision to do that, it might cost this. If you had an internal resource and you trained them in this way, it might cost that. That sort of honesty and integrity and giving us real answers and opportunities instead of taking advantage of the fact that we really needed your help at that time really, really went a long way in establishing trust.